Hello, everybody. Welcome back
Hi.
to Oscar Buzz. We're streaming again, and we are streaming
We
our
are?
final Oscar predictions. This is it. This is it, everybody. Welcome to everybody in chat. And yeah, you can. I don't think that there's gonna be that much that we're gonna be disagreeing on. But
No, most of it's fairly obvious. It's been a fairly obvious award season from most categories. There's still a few that are a bit more up in the air. And it's always fun to talk about these films. But yeah, like it's come very quickly. I can't believe it. We're already very nearly Oscar weekend. But yeah, for sure. Final predictions. Here we go.
somebody
You
said
can
sound is
don't
messed up. Is sound messed
for
up?
who?
Mic quality is kind of bad. Okay,
For me?
hold. On who? Whose mic quality is bad?
Here we go. Here's the test.
Let's see. Is it mine?
You're coming through fine on my end.
Thomas is normal, but Trevor is not. Oh, it's probably my stupid
Oh,
ass mic. Okay, so my cat broke my mic cord, and we'll see if I can make it work. Everybody
cool.
hold for a moment. Everybody hold. Um, let's see. Mic, device Yeti. That should be fine. Thomas is way louder.
Oh,
Can we turn Thomas down?
I don't know. Probably a way of turning me down.
Let's see. Can I turn Thomas down? Wait. Okay, wait. I figured out how to turn Thomas down.
Cool.
Now are we about the same? Let's see.
Hello.
Let's see. We're still testing out. We're testing out a new streaming
We're
thing.
testing out this. Exactly. We're going to get a lot more professional over the next few weeks.
Yeah. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do more of the streaming thing though. Let us know if that sounds good though. Let us know if that sounds better. I just turned him down to like 60%.
Okay.
I still sound low. Wait.
Can
Let
you
me just
turn
turn
you
up my
up?
gain. Now
There we
am
go.
I
That
fine?
sounds louder already.
Now are we good? Now are we good? Let's see. I'm practically silent. Jesus Christ. How am I now? How am I
Okay.
now? Testing. Better? We good? Maybe. I saw one better. From
One
Cameron.
better.
If we're good, we'll get started. Much better? Sick. Let's go.
Cool.
We did it.
Perfect.
We fucking did
Solved.
technology.
Right.
Let's go. We're
Exactly. How
good
we
at
solved that? Let's solve the Oscars now.
we're
Let's
good at
solve the
this. Now
Oscars.
let's solve the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is the racist guy? I assume you're talking about Sam. Uh,
Bad.
who is
It's actually
not
bad that
racist for the record.
canonically. You started this. You
Did I
started
start
this.
that? Did I start that Sam is
Yeah, you
racist?
definitely did. You definitely did. Who else started it?
That's that's fair. It was probably me. It was
Yeah.
probably me. My hair looks great. Sure. I didn't do anything with it. I'm bad at doing that. I'm gonna get it re-dyed. I need to get my roots.
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday.
So,
Wednesday.
yeah,
Um,
Troy, look back.
okay. Cool. Let's talk about the Oscars. We're just gonna go to Gold Derby. Context, I don't even know at this point. I think it was on the
It was on a
fucking HCA
basket,
awards or
wasn't it?
something like that.
Or HGA. Definitely one of them.
I think it was HCA.
Yeah,
I think it was HCA.
probably.
Okay. Let's get into the Oscars. So, here we go. Best Picture. Guys, this is crazy. I think Oppenheimer is going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to just add it to my best picture winners ranked list anyway. Like,
Yeah.
just now. I did it last year with Everything Everywhere. Wasn't burned by it, funnily enough, because it's just another obvious winner. I think their placements are actually interesting in terms of what Gold W ranks. Like,
Yeah,
Gold
that's
W,
weird.
that kind of makes sense. Poor Things free?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, but sure.
Yeah. But no, I mean this is just it's so obviously Everything Everywhere that yeah, I really don't think this is going to be
Oppenheimer. I mean, so I said
I'm
Everything Everywhere.
tired. It's so obviously Oppenheimer, yeah.
Yeah.
There's really no conversation to even be had at this point. It's just a massive sweep. It's just a massive sweep, just like last year was a massive sweep. Yeah. Easy. We can move on to another easy one.
Another easy winner, yeah.
Best director. Would you look at that? I think it's going to be Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. And it would be a deserving one as well. I think he does deserve an Oscar for his career.
Right, yeah. I'm not even the biggest Christopher Nolan fan. I've made that very known this season, but I do think that Oppenheimer is like, it's phenomenal.
And it's one of his best.
I think it's his best film
it's definitely pushing it. I think it might honestly be his best film.
Yeah, no, I agree. You think Zone of Interest could sneak in? No, I don't think so. I think that those articles just came from people being bored, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, no, and let's be honest, like there will be some people doing Zone of Interest everywhere because it's their favorite film of the year. There will be
that's what I would vote. I would vote for Zone everywhere.
Exactly. Will that carry over more generally?
No. It's not gonna happen. I do think there is a category that we'll get to where that could happen, but it's not going to be picture director. It's not going to be picture director. Picture director, both actors, supporting. Yeah, I mean most things are locked. The Dark Knight. Sorry, I don't like that movie.
I think that's what I'm debating between whether it's that or the Dark Knight.
I don't know. I don't even think it's the best movie in that trilogy. I think Batman Begins is a stronger film, but.
Okay, I mean that's just. I think Dark Knight Rises is possibly better than Batman Begins.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we don't need to have the conversation. You think Dark Knight Rises is better than Batman Begins?
I really like Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I think Dark Knight Rises.
That's a crazy take.
So fun. But anyway.
Easy take.
I think Oppenheimer is Nolan's most impressive film. I think Dark Knight is possibly more entertaining, but
maybe. Could Dune Part 2 be a Best Picture contender? No, you have some interesting thoughts about it. Yeah, we actually just recorded our Dune Part 2 review before hopping on here. It's like 30 minutes long. It will be up tomorrow, I think. And yes, I have some interesting thoughts about Dune Part 2, I did not
about
like
the film for that. But in terms of Oscar chances, I think it will be in Best Picture. I don't think it will be in contention to win.
No, it's not. It's not the type of movie that would win Best Picture. It's not that movie.
First one. And I think it could miss out on stuff like adapted screenplay that the first one. Yep. Obviously got Unfounded.
In a really weak category.
In a weak category. It was a weak category, but still.
Actress is not locked yet. Yeah, that's going to be the interesting one. Here's hoping Lily Gladstone takes Thomas as her +1. Yes, your cousin, Lily Gladstone.
Cousin.
Canonically, legally, your cousin.
Genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely. Speaking of Best Actress. Okay.
She's taking it.
I think she's taking it. I really genuinely think that Lily Gladstone is winning this. If we're okay, this is gonna be the first one that we actually have to have a conversation about.
Yeah.
Looking at this category, so we basically have to ask, BAFTA and SAG were exactly the same except for Best Actress. They both went for Killing, they both went for Divine, they both went for RDJ. So, because of that, it means that one of them is going to go 4 for 4, unless, like, I don't know, Carey Mulligan wins the Oscar completely for no reason, right? It's obviously going to be Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone, one of those two. So we have to ask who's going to go 4 for 4, SAG or BAFTA. Well, SAG has went 4 for 4 the last 2 years. So far this decade, I think that they are 10 of 12, and BAFTA's 7 of 12, I want to say, so slightly better. When BAFTA and SAG have split the Best Actress category since 2000, since BAFTA became a precursor in 2000, right? It's went 7 times to SAG, 5 times to BAFTA. The other massive thing is, I can't remember the exact thing, but it's been a while and very consistently, the person who wins the last ceremony, the last televised ceremony, whether it was SAG or BAFTA, goes on to win the Oscar. It is like very, very strong for the Best Actress category to win the last ceremony. And that is why I do think that it is going to be Lily Gladstone. Because, like, if you look at stats, they're close, but they do lean in Lily's direction. If you look at narrative, Lily has the biggest narrative in the category. Emma Stone has basically no narrative. So I think that when you're judging Oscar predictions, you got to look at stats, narrative, and then vibes.
Yeah.
And I do think that stats and narratives lean, even if slightly with stats, I do think that they lean in Lily's direction. Narrative obviously leans in the direction of Lily. So
yeah, I don't know if vibes would maybe lean in Emma Stone's favor just by being a big name in a big performance, like whereas Lily is a lesser known name in a much subtler performance. So I do think she may take the game out, but I agree. Like the stats you mentioned, sure. For me, it's more of just a gut thing. Like, can I see Emma Stone winning another Oscar? Potentially. Do I just think it's more likely for Lily Gladstone to win? Yes. And a lot of what, especially towards the end, like, because we're obviously thinking about it in terms of what would we just feel makes sense to win. I think a lot of Oscar voters think in the same way. What just feels right to vote for? And I think Lily Gladstone is a performance that feels right to vote for at this moment. And like, if she could overcome SAG, like who famously often go for showier performances, I think that's fine. Emma Stone really does remind me of Cate Blanchett from last year. Lily Gladstone doesn't remind me of Michelle Yeoh. It's a different sort of thing. But Emma Stone, especially in the way she's been marketing herself in terms of talking about awards, yes, she is the face of a film, but so is Lily Gladstone. She seems to have elevated herself to the position where you think about killers, you think about Lily Gladstone at this point.
Yeah, she's really the face of the film.
Exactly. So I think with all of those things combined, it just kind of makes sense for it to be Lily at this point.
Yeah, so I want to address a couple things in the chat. Somebody said, where was it? Was the last ceremony, it was BAFTA last ceremony for the McDormand and Hopkins year? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The other thing is that someone said that her missing BAFTA, they felt hurt. So one, missing BAFTA and going on to win the Oscar, that has happened plenty of times so far since the year 2000. Chastain, and obviously that's a weird scenario because, like, you know, like there were no nominees, but still, that is the case. And there were people, I'm looking at Sandra Bullock is one who didn't get the BAFTA nomination and went on to win the Oscar. Like, it does happen, and it can happen. There's two other examples that it happened since 2000 that I can't think of. But, like, obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. And also, people like Sandra Bullock, that happened when the full field was done by popular vote. This is a year where they obviously didn't love Killers of the Flower Moon at the BAFTAs. And they how they do the system, it's only the top 3 popular vote get in, and then the other 3 are jury pick. I think that if all 6 were done by popular vote, Lily Gladstone gets the BAFTA nomination.
Yeah, 100%.
And like she just does. So I don't want to base an Oscar prediction off of a jury that we don't know how big or small it is not going for her as one of their 3 selections. Like, I don't think that really makes sense, because, like, okay, maybe she was 4th, 5th, 6th in popular voting. We don't know how many people got nominated for the BAFTA and were just in like 4th or 5th place that then went on to win the Oscar. Like, that's probably happened plenty of times, but we don't know because we don't have the order as far as nomination voting. So I really don't think that missing BAFTA is an issue at all, to be honest.
No, I think the biggest issue for Lily Gladstone is, as I say, the subtlety of performance, the lack of screen time, it's actually just performance.
The lack of name, right?
Itself, exactly. I think awards and statistics and how she's been doing all season, and as you say, the momentum, I think it's all pointing to her. And therefore, I think, and there are still a lot of people that even know the performance is subtle, it is their favorite performance of the year. I know
it's my favorite performance of the year, period.
Exactly.
Like,
so, and I'm sure other people will feel similarly to you. So, yeah, I think it just makes sense to go with Lily at this point, really.
Yeah, I really does. I see Sam in chat going for Lily too. There's the racist for somebody who was asking earlier. Sorry, Sam. But yeah, no, I mean, somebody just runs that BAFTAs can be taken too seriously after they had a party with All Quiet last year. And to be fair, like, that did carry over a bit, but not to the extent. SAG has like 13% voting crossover, and BAFTA has like 7 or 8%. So, like, it's marginal, but like SAG has almost double the voting crossover. And, like, again, for a performance as subtle and as not a name at all with Lily Gladstone, to be winning SAG is huge. Like, that her winning SAG is massive. That's bigger than her winning BAFTA, in my opinion, if they split the other way. Whereas, like, Emma took SAG and Lily took BAFTA if she was nominated, right? Like, SAG is the biggest, the important one for the acting category. SAG, especially with it being the last ceremony now, it's just massive. And I think, again, since we have stats and narrative pointing in the direction of Lily, I do think that we should just be leaning towards Lily. I also think that a lot more of the European vote might get split between Emma and Sandra. And because I know that was an argument that, like, okay, well, the European branch of the Academy, right, this big international branch, is probably going to go more for, like, Emma. But I do think that there will be some split between Emma and Sandra, whereas I do think that the more traditionalist, like, American voting core is going to lean more towards Lily Gladstone's performance over Sandra's or Emma's. So,
pretty sure. No, completely good.
All right, locking in Lily. So these other acting categories aren't interesting at all. Best actor, it's just Cillian Murphy. I know some people are still holding on to Paul, But like,
as much as I'd like to see it be Paul, he lost to SAG.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that we can do that.
Killian took SAG and BAFTA. It's just easy now. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Critics' Choice was just a random one-off.
Yeah, seems that way.
So it's whatever. Supporting categories. I mean, we just had straight up sweeps across the board.
This has
Devontae
been
Randolph,
the same all year. Exactly.
Swept.
Same. all
easy.
year.
Nothing really to yeah, whatever. Divine's just winning. I mean, I think that she's the best in this category. It is a pretty weak category, but she's the best in this category. So
I'd agree. I mean, yeah, as you say, the competition's not stiff, but
it's not great competition. But
it would
yeah.
be a deserving one.
So yes. Supporting actor, again, very obviously swept the entire season. It's just Robert Downey Jr. Like,
Exactly.
there's no
It'll
competition.
just be another one in the big tally of wins Oppenheimer picks up.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, we're just locking in SAG going 4-4-4, as we said, which is like they did it the last 2 years. There's no reason to say that they won't do it again.
100%.
All right. Let's see. Best adapted screenplay. So, American Fiction just won USC Scripter. It looks like American Fiction is just taking it. Like,
Yeah. This was one where I think the BAFTA win does help, even though crossover's not massive.
Yeah.
The fact that they still singled out the screenplay specifically suggests a strength within this category. It's a writer-director, which is good. It's a type of screenplay that they tend to like, they tend to go for. There's a lot of things going in favor of American Fiction here.
yeah. I mean, so I kind of want to talk about both screenplay categories at the same time, because original screenplay, everything seems to be pointing towards Anatomy of Fall, which would be amazing and like one of the best winners like ever,
100%,
if we're being completely honest. Just in my mind, I feel like there's a world where we get an upset. I don't know where. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm predicting American Fiction Anatomy of Fall. I think that don't in your predict, like, don't try to go crazy. American Fiction and Anatomy of a Fall, they make the most sense, right? Just statistically, they've been winning the most things. They've been taking the most precursors. It feels obvious. However, and this is just the vibes thing, like, the screenplay combo of Anatomy of a Fall and American Fiction just doesn't entirely check out to me. I don't know where it would come from. I don't know if we'd see like a random holdovers. I don't know if we could see, like, you know, if they want to go head over heels for Oppenheimer. If, like, maybe, I mean, we've never seen Barbie go up against American Fiction. If we could see a random shock Barbie win. Like, I think that those are all very small percentage things, and I'm not going to be predicting against American Fiction Anatomy of a Fall. But I wouldn't call these categories locked in the same way that I think, like, picture, director, actor, supporting actor, and supporting actress, those are locked. I think that these are very strong with Anatomy of a Fall and American Fiction, but I wouldn't call them locks at this point.
No, what I think really confirmed Anatomy for me was the director nom as well.
Yeah, that's huge.
It suggests that there is a large contingent of people in the Academy.
I mean, it's the only film in the category with a director nom.
Exactly, and then it won BAFTA and then it won the Globes as well. So I do feel fairly comfortable in Anatomy of a Fall, even though, like, maybe there's a lot of holdovers love within the Academy. I don't know. I would just bank on Anatomy of a Fall at this point. Adapted's a little harder. There is a case to be made that maybe they, despite all odds, go for Oppenheimer just because it's the best picture one. Maybe that is a possibility.
That's the one.
And in Barbie, there are some cases for it. I don't know. It's an unconvincing argument for me that Barbie would randomly take it. That would feel very random at this stage. But yeah, as you say, I think American Fiction is the right thing to do. There's a lot of signs pointing towards it, and not many saying.
Again, these are the obvious choices. These are the clear obvious choices. It is, again, just a vibes thing where something in my head doesn't compute. Like, I like just picturing them saying Anatomy of a Fall and American Fiction, and I'm just a little bit.
They don't necessarily make sense as a pair, which is maybe the problem. Like, it's a weird sort of.
I feel like usually they kind of make sense as a pair. Like, usually there's a cohesive vibe for the screenplay
like, we had
winners.
Belfast and Coda. Like,
yeah,
sure,
makes sense. Like, I mean, even last year, like, Women Talking, Everything Ever All at Once. Like, I don't know. They feel like they have a similar, like.
Everything Everywhere and All Quiet.
Or, like, yeah, right. Everything Ever All Quiet. Like, that didn't make sense. Like, I don't know. And there's no way to quantify this. But it's
this
just,
is complete.
It's complete vibes based. Yeah. But off of complete vibes based, Anatomy of a Fall and American Fiction doesn't feel right. But I think that you'd also be stupid to not predict those two at this point.
Exactly. 100%.
So, yeah. And going with Anatomy of American Fiction, but, you know, I wouldn't be like stunned. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be stunned though if one of them lost.
Yeah. If one of them lost, if both of them lost,
Both of them. I don't think both of them will lose.
No.
But yeah, for sure. Someone also asks in the chat, is ranked choice voting only used for Best Picture? So there is no ranked choice voting. It's a preferential ballot, which is a very complicated system. Ryan Castleman has a very good video on it, so go watch him. But that is only for Best Picture, though. It's the preferential ballot system only for Best Picture. Everything else is just, you put in your choice to vote. So, Anatomy Not Be makes sense, and Whole Everything American Fiction makes sense. As vibes, yes. Trevor, you said... Wait, what is Sam saying? Trevor, you said the exact same thing in the exact same tone about Coleman Domingo getting nominated and Nyad getting anything at all. I think Anatomy of Fall and American Fiction are locked. Okay. I still wouldn't call them locked, but yeah, I don't...
I don't know, I think Anatomy is more locked. I agree that Anatomy is locked. American Fiction, just because the Best Picture winner is in the category, I can't say it's locked.
I'm not calling it a lock. I'm not calling it a lock. I think that they're very strong. They're like 98, 97% chance. But I don't feel that they're locked as much as like Oppenheimer for picture and director, or like Divine and RTJ and Killian, right? Like, again.
Yeah. And a lot of that is probably due to WJ's not happening yet.
Right. If WJ had happened, then I feel like I'd feel better with it. But yeah. Okay, cinematography. This is just obvious. Oppenheimer swept everywhere, winning the Oppenheimer vs. Christmas text. It would be so interesting if Dune Part 2 came out. The tech race between Oppenheimer and Dune would be fascinating.
No. I think Oppenheimer would have shut it out. I really do.
I don't know if it would. I genuinely don't know if it would.
I think it would have shut it out of cinematography. And I think it would have shut it out of... I think maybe sound.
I think Dune maybe takes sound. I think there... I think that Dune could also take like... I mean, yeah. Production design and costumes would also be kind of interesting.
That's true.
Production design in particular. But yeah.
I'm not sure.
Regardless, Oppenheimer obviously winning here.
100%.
Costumes. Okay, I kind of want to talk about costumes and production design joint here. Where's production design? There it is. Okay, I agree with Gold Derby. I have Barbie winning both of these. I know that Poor Things took the ADG, or I think it's, ADG. But why I'm going with Barbie for both costumes and production design is, one, names. These tech categories are very clicky, and they like their names. So Barbie has like multiple time winners, nominees, all these types of things. Poor Things, I believe, are first time nominees for both, who have very few credits. So I do think that leans towards Barbie, but the one example that I'd make is 2018. The Favorite wins the BAFTA for costumes and production design. Then it goes on to lose the Oscar to Critics' Choice winner Black Panther in both categories, which is the big populist blockbuster film. Another another Yorgos movie losing these categories to the big blockbuster populist film with more names behind it. And Critics' Choice is historically better at predicting both these categories. So I'm leaning Barbie to take both here, and I do think that Poor Things is just going to get shut out, a la like Elvis last year. I think that it
kind of makes sense to be, few segs. But yeah, I think Barbie really makes sense to me just based on the pop culture nature of it. Like, it's a film about costumes in many ways. Like, you see the scenes of costumes being thrown out the window, etc., etc. Barbie, when you think of the film, you think about Barbie Land, and that is all created through production design. So I just think, whereas Poor Things has a lot going on, whereas Barbie, it's so focused on very stylized costumes, very stylized production design, that you can't help but think about it when you're voting, I don't think.
Yeah. And I know people are bringing up Poor Things being Barbie at ADG. I will say, I think if there is a split, it's Barbie takes costumes, Poor Things takes production design. I don't think that Poor Things is winning both. I really don't think that Poor Things is winning both.
No, I don't think Poor Things would win costumes. That would feel weird.
Yeah, I don't think that Poor Things is winning costumes.
Maybe. But as I say, like, BAFTA's clearly liked Poor Things. That's maybe why they chose to do it.
Right, but again, it isn't even as strong as The Favorite was. Like, it didn't win screenplay. It didn't win Best British Film. Like, I don't know. I think, again, if there's a split, it's costumes, Barbie, production design, Poor Things. But I am leaning towards Barbie taking both, and Poor Things just getting shut out. And here's the production design lineup. I think it's the exact same, isn't it? Yeah, it is just the exact same.
Yeah, it is the exact same.
So yeah, no, I'm leaning towards Barbie taking both. And I just, I don't know, like they aren't that highbrow with these costumes and production design categories. Like Alice in Wonderland won production design. Like I don't know. Like it feels like they're very okay with going for the populist choice here. Like didn't like Cruella win costumes? Like,
yeah, especially when the populist choice is also a Best Picture contender still.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think Barbie and Poor Things makes sense here. I do think that Barbie and Poor Things, or Barbie over Poor Things, I should say, does make sense for both categories here. Again, could very easily see Poor Things taking production design, but I don't know. I think that we're going to see a lot more high-profile, big, like Best Picture contender shutouts, and I think that Poor Things is the one for this year.
Yeah, potentially, and I mean, unless actress, obviously, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Poor Things will be shut out.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
for sure. Which is sad because I like it. I prefer Poor Things to Barbie personally. Like I do like it better as a film. But I don't think it makes sense. I see Aiden in the chat brought up Poor Things as this year's Banshees. Yeah,
Kind
like
of.
a lot of nominations, a Searchlight film that's like quite highbrow, but then just doesn't take home anything. So I don't know. Okay, editing. Here's an easy one. It should be this, but it's Oppenheimer.
It should be, and I'm glad that we've managed to just launch it, and it's now a second on Golden. Like, it's unfounded that Anatomy is like the second place contender in this category.
Yeah.
Nothing is pointing to that, but it's just because it is objectively the best. But yes, obviously, Oppenheimer is going to be taking this category, and fair enough, deserving one.
I mean, yeah, it's still fantastic.
Exactly. It needs the editing. It really is.
Oh, for sure. Like it's a film, built out of the editing. So, yep, makes sense. Let's see, best makeup and hairstyling. Okay, so I could see a Poor Things upset here, but again, it feels like I'm gonna keep on comparing it to The Favorite, right? Like, Favorite wins makeup, right? All these stuff. I'm pretty sure it won makeup at the BAFTA, but I don't think that Maestro needs Bradley or Carey to win because obviously they aren't. I don't think it needs that to happen. I do think it will just be fine and it will just be Vice and just take makeup for the big transformation. And I think that is just fine. Like, again, I can see where people are coming from. Well, I can see where people are coming from with Poor Things because it did win the BAFTA in the Critics' Choice and Maestro has been underperforming. But like, it's just the most Academy thing ever to go for Maestro. Like, that's just what the Academy will do. It should be Poor Things. I would vote for Poor Things here.
But it's got good biopic makeup. They love a bit of biopic makeup.
Yeah.
And they tend to prefer it to this kind of fantastical stuff. So it just kind of makes sense if you're looking at exclusively based on the films in question and looking not necessarily at the award. Like, it just makes so much more sense for Maestro to win over Poor Things.
Yeah.
And then if you're taking into account the awards, like, Maestro is still a Best Picture player. It's still got Bradley Cooper, Carey Mulligan in it. It's still got that backing clearly from members of the Academy. Therefore, I think it will just take it. I agree.
Yeah. It just makes sense. Again, as a purely vibes-based thing, like, I don't know. It's just, that is the most Academy-friendly movie ever. Like, Aiden and I are on the same vibe today. Literally just put up the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. It is just a very Academy-friendly movie. So I don't know. And also brought up in chat, Maestro won the special effects makeup award at the Makeup Guild Award. Like, that is the important one. They like their prosthetics. They like their special effects makeup. Makes sense. I don't know. I think it has it. I do think it has it.
For sure.
All right. On to, we already talked about production design. On to score. Oh, look, it's an easy one. Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Yeah, well, Oppenheimer's just taken so many awards this year, but it's become a juggernaut.
It's just a sweeper. It's just a sweeper. It's going to win.
But it's locked in.
How many is it winning? It's winning picture, director, actor, supporting actor, cinematography, editing, then score, and then maybe sound. So 7 or 8. But yeah, no, this is just obvious. This is easy. Song. I feel like the Grammys honestly cleared this one up. What Was I Made For? Won best song, just period. Not best song in, like, visual media or anything like that. It just won best song at the Grammys. And there is some crossover between like the music branch of the Academy and Grammy voters. It isn't a lot, but yeah, I just it's just what was I made for? They love Billy. Like
Exactly. All the arguments you're making about I'm Just Ken as well, like, oh, it was such an important part of the film. It was during the film, it wasn't a credits film. These arguments also apply
Exact same thing.
to What Was I Made For. So, yeah, I just think it might take this one. I'll be very excited to see Ryan Gosling perform it at the Oscars.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. But unfortunately, it won't take the award. It won't take the award.
Yeah, no, it is just, I think, pretty clear what was I made for it. Like, they already love Billy. They gave it to her for No Time to Die. And I think that this is a better song than that in a bigger film, like a much bigger film. I think they just go Billy. It's just What Was I Made For? Easy. Okay, sound. This is where I'm taking a swing. I talked about earlier, there is a lot of Zone of Interest love in the air right now. Like, people feel very passionately about this film. It's going to be probably the last film that they watched of like the big, Best Picture films, just because A24 decided to literally release it like a week before voting. But yeah, I don't know. I think that passion will funnel into Zone. I really do. You talk, I have to let my cat in the room. Go.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if passion will just fall to Zone in this particular category. There is clearly a lot of passion for Zone of Interest, but there's also undoubtedly a lot of passion for Oppenheimer that doesn't need evidencing. And I think when it comes to this sort of thing of recency, I think sure, people may have seen Zone more recently, but when you're thinking about sound, I think it's hard just not to think about Oppenheimer when you think about the year from like just having the Trinity Test scene back to back with that lectural scene or whatever. It's not only the Best Picture winner, it's a winner in sound in any other year if you're, unless you're Zone of Interest, and objectively one of the best use of sound ever in film. I think a lot of people will appreciate that, but Oppenheimer is a Best Picture winner and it has some of the best sound of the year. Therefore, I think these two things will just
it makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to make an argument against this. Like, I think Oppenheimer is the obvious choice and it makes sense. But also, like, I don't know. I don't want to predict every tech category to be safe. Like, I think that is a bit risky to just go every tech category safe. Like, yes, I'm seeing everybody in the chat. I mean, Zone losing Society of Snow at the Guild, sure. But this is just purely a vibes thing. Because you have to remember that is only the Sound Guild that is voting on that. This is going to be voted on by the broader Academy, which, you could say obviously loves Oppenheimer. But I do think that there will be enough people where it's, everybody who loves Zone of Interest. I could see it just funneling into this. Am I going to bring any logic to this argument? Absolutely not, because there is none. It is purely vibes based. And I want to take a swing in a tech category because I never like just playing everything safe with the techs. I feel like that's a dangerous, it's dangerous to do everything safe with the techs. So
it is, but just logically in my mind, I don't see how you put Oppenheimer number one for picture, like over Zone. And then I think most people therefore jump to the logic of, right, well then we'll do it for sound as well. I think anyone putting Zone number one would go Zone for sound. And I think some people putting Oppenheimer number one would put Zone for sound. I don't think the numbers add up though. In my mind, I think most people would just
probably not.
Oppenheimer picture, Oppenheimer sound.
I'm just gonna go for it. Something Zone being an unprecedented winner. Yeah, but it was also an unprecedented type of film to get the nominations for like Best Picture and Best Director in the first place. Like Zone of Interest is just an unprecedented film for this award season, and I don't know. I could see there being enough passion to funnel in. Again, I'm not going to back this up with any sort of logical reasoning because there really is none. It is purely vibes based. So, but I'm just going for it. I think this is the first time that we've actually splitting on a prediction.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
Which, like, will it probably be Oppenheimer? Sure, but I do think that there is an off chance that Zone pulls out. Like, if Oppenheimer is going to lose any of its text that it's supposed to win, it would be sound. Like, it's not going to be cinematography or editing or score. If it's going to lose one, it's going to be sound.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll go with it. All right. Best VFX. Oh, why?
I don't know why
Gold Derby's really think Godzilla. Okay, so I was on the Godzilla train for a bit. I've kind of given up on it. I do feel like it might just be the creator.
Yeah, I just think, like, there's been so much talk about the VFX, about the creator. Like that's the only thing people talk about with the film. Like people are like, yeah, we love Godzilla, and you're talking about the creator. Yeah, we love the creator VFX, and that's important when you're in a category like this, and when all of the other nominees aren't really elsewhere. I know Napoleon is technically elsewhere, but like this is really the only category you're seeing these kind of films. I think it is important that the specific technical element you're nominated in is the specific technical element that is being.
And to be fair, the creator did get a sound nom. The creator did get a sound nom,
which also probably helps it a little bit. But yeah, and also just I don't know. I think there is enough people have seen the creator. It was not underseen. Sure, it wasn't as well seen as Guardians or probably Mission Impossible or even Godzilla. I think it's marginal, but Godzilla did make a bit more. But still, it's not an underseen movie. It's not like this would be a weird a weird win. And in a category that's already been quite weird in terms of plucking out contenders, I don't know, it just kind of would fall to the creator.
I'm seeing some people say Napoleon because it got a production design nomination. I don't think that is a correlative thing, because it's the stat of like the visual effects winners like get a production design nomination. I don't think that matters that much. I feel like that's more of just the films that happen to win or to have really good visual effects also happen to have very good production design. But I don't think that they're necessary. It's not like voters are scrolling through their ballot and be like, what am I going to vote for visual effects? Well, I did see that Napoleon was in production design, so maybe I should go for that. Like, nobody's thinking like that. That isn't like a stat that we can really take on beyond just base level correlation. So
yeah, and I also think with that one is I watched Napoleon the other day. I couldn't really notice where the visual effects were. Like, I'm sure they're very fair. I'm sure they're very impressive. If you asked me to, I could pick them out. But it's not heavy VFX.
And the most obvious visual effects usually win.
Exactly. And if you're an Oscar voter, I think you're thinking in the same way with me. Maybe if you're doing the nominations and you're in the visual effects branch, sure, you might register Napoleon's technical artistry in that manner. But if you're a regular Academy voter, like, I don't think you're noticing the VFX really.
Yeah, and again, I can see a world where Godzilla takes this. Like, I don't think it's impossible. I think that it's I think probably the most beloved. Like, it's more beloved, I think, than the creator. It came out later. It's been having more of a moment recently, but I don't know. It feels very hard to go against the creator right now.
Yeah, and I think it was far enough ago where it was having its moment in like sort of late December-ish time where. I don't know if it is really, if it does really have much momentum or much more momentum than the creator. I think they're sort of on fairly equal.
Sure. It's all about narrative with the Oscars. How about we give this to Godzilla? Yeah, but the thing with that is that I'm not sure if people are aware of the narrative. Like, I don't think that the campaign has been orchestrated in such a way that it's all about like how they did so much with the VFX even though they had such a small budget. Like, people tried that narrative last year with Everything Ever All at Once and it didn't even get the nomination.
And it's also the same narrative as the creator. Like, it's the same narrative. Sure. That was also, wow, how did they do this on such a low budget?
Sure. Yeah. So like Godzilla, it's a smaller budget, so more important, whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the creator. I think it is just the creator at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, animated feature. We're gonna disagree again. I don't know. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm feeling Boy and the Heron. If I'm imagining like, they go up to present it, it's gonna be like one of the first categories of the night, and they go up. And they talk about their whole thing, and it's like, and the Oscar goes to, I can just hear Hayao Miyazaki, Boy and the Heron. Like, this is one where I do think that people are very aware of the narrative. Like, I think that people are very, very aware of this narrative for Hayao Miyazaki, and I do think it will play in his favor, especially because, like, it obviously wasn't as widely seen as Spider-Man, but it was very well seen, and it came out right at the end of the year. Like, Spider-Verse has been out for a while, and yes, that can help with building momentum, but I do think that there is so much love for Boy and the Heron right now, and Spider-Verse did very heavily underperform with nominations, so I don't know. It was also the first animated film, or the first international film to be nominated for PGA Animated, which I think is huge. as well. Yes, Spider-Verse still won it, but Spider-Verse is always going to win PGA. The fact that Boy and the Heron was even nominated there, I think, is big. I think that this is really tight. I think it's really, really close. But I don't know. I'm leaning Boy and the Heron. I'm leaning Boy and the Heron off of vibes and narrative. Because, again, I feel like Spider-Verse has stats. Boy and the Heron has vibes and narrative. Sorry.
I do agree with you, but I also think there is an important thing to mention that a lot of the Academy voters will be parents who are nominating what they've seen with their kids. How many of them would have seen Boy and the Heron? How many of the older contingent of the Academy would have seen Boy and the Heron versus would have maybe seen Spider-Verse with their kids, etc. And acclaimed, made so much money that I think it just still makes sense as a winner, even though Boy and the Heron has a lot going for it. This is really the only category in my mind that is a complete 50-50 almost. I could 100% see Boy and the Heron winning.
I think that Lily has more of an advantage over Emma than there is an advantage here.
Yeah. I think the only thing pushing me towards Spider-Verse is just thinking, all right, as an Academy voter, which one are they more likely to have seen and engaged with on a deeper level? Probably Spider-Verse in my mind. But
but I mean, it is a superhero sequel movie.
It is. The first one still won.
The first one still won, but I think that the first one didn't really have a real competition.
I don't know. I guess Incredibles 2 was also.
And I think it also surged at the right moment. Like, it came out in December, and it did surge at the very end. Whereas I feel like Boy and the Heron is the film that is surging now. But again, I also think that this is you flip a coin. It's a dead heat, 50-50. It could go either way. I would not be surprised by either. But yeah, I am just leaning Boy and the Heron. I think I am just ever so slightly, because again, I try to judge these off of stats, narrative, vibes, and I think that Spider-Verse has the stats, as people in the chat have been bringing up. But I do think that Boy and the Heron has narrative and vibes.
I think Boy and the Heron's got narrative. I just think vibes are on. It's a very weird way of quantifying Oscar predictions, but sure, vibes are on the side of Spider-Verse.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, it is a close one. It's a really, really close one.
For sure.
But yeah, locked in Boy and the Heron. You're locked in Spider-Verse. Here, I don't think we're going to be disagreeing. It's 20 Days of Marigold, quite obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it won everything, just like Navalny last year.
Stats, exactly. You don't need any more than that, really.
Yep. This has stats, narrative, and vibes. On to this one. Again, just obvious. What movie was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screen?
Yeah.
It's Zone of Interest, quite obviously. I'm happy. I'm really happy that this is going to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Zone of Interest is going to be an Oscar-winning film. That's cool as hell. Love that.
For sure.
All right.
Anatomy is still going to win something as well. I'm glad that it has a
they will each get to win something. Hopefully, yeah.
And Zone is winning something. We're gonna be doing all right on Oscars.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, into the shorts. So I've started working my way through these.
Yeah. I am not. I watched some of them.
That's fair. Okay, animated short. So, are we here? Did I freeze? Maybe.
I think you froze. Maybe.
I think I'm here.
We're back.
I need to get a new computer. Animated short. Okay, so I think that Letter to a Pig makes the most sense. So this thing right here, it's about. I haven't worked my way through the animated ones yet because none of them are available online, but I will be seeing them in a theater tomorrow. But I was reading about all of them, and I'll probably put something up on Twitter if I change my mind. But Letter to a Pig, it's about a Holocaust survivor who reads a letter he wrote to a pig who saved his life, and then it's like a young schoolgirl who reads it in a class, and it's reflecting back on that. Just very, very emotionally heavy. It feels like the type of thing that's gonna take it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So
I will trust you on that one.
Going with that one, it's top on Gold Derby, it's top on Award Expert. I think it makes the most sense. Documentary short. It's unfortunately going to probably go to the worst one, ABCs of Book Banning. It's just a slideshow with absolutely no subtlety. It's really, really overt.
I think the good thing about this one is that I've actively heard of the name.
Yeah.
And I'd be able to tell you.
It has visibility.
That's the one in the documentary category. Yes, exactly. If I know about it, and I know very little about these shorts, but I've heard of it, I sort of know its vibe.
Yeah.
That's going to help because a lot of people just won't have seen these shorts and will just be going for the most prominent one.
Yeah. And again, once I have seen all of these, which I will have seen all of them by tomorrow night, I will probably do a video for the channel, just giving my full thoughts on all of them and locking in final winners. I know this is supposed to be like our final lock-in, but again, I want to actually have seen all of these. Yeah, I heard the 99 WIPO team has been campaigning like crazy. I mean, it is by Sean Wang, who made a brilliant film at Sundance. DD, one of the best, if not the best film at Sundance. So yeah, no, I've heard Last Repair Shop. I haven't gotten around to that one yet. I've heard that one's like considered the best in this category, but it's the Oscar shorts, and they typically don't go for that. And I've heard that like I don't know, everybody hates ABC's The Book banning, and it's like just it's playing on very, very obvious political messaging and themes. It feels like something the Academy is going to eat up.
Yeah.
And then live action short. Okay, so I'm going to break the rule of going for the worst one. So The After is maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I watched it today. It is terrible. Like an affront to cinema. But like it does the same, like very, very obvious and unsubtle to the point where it becomes a parody of itself, like political messaging, and it's about death and grief and trauma, and oh my god, I'm a 16-year-old film student. So
who somehow got David Oyelowo in the role.
Yeah, somehow. But I do think that if you're scrolling through, because most people don't even vote on the short categories, and if you're scrolling through and be like, oh, Wes Anderson, he's worked with 80% of Hollywood. I think that people are just going to go for Wes. I think it's by far the most visible. I mean, both of them are both The After and Henry Sugar are Netflix. And like, it's pretty clear what Netflix has been pushing the most. Yes, The After has been, getting some push behind it and getting some momentum behind it. But I mean, it's the Wes Anderson short. Like, it was massive. If voters will have seen any of them, like before nominations even, it will have been that one.
And if they're going to vote, even though they haven't seen any of them, it's going to be that one.
They're going to vote for the Wes Anderson one. Yeah, because people are going to want to
Even if they haven't seen it, I'm sure you'll get people voting for it.
Yeah, because like I like Wes Anderson a lot, but I think even if you don't love Wes, like I think it's pretty hard to deny that he is like one of the most influential filmmakers of like this century so far. Like if you look at how many people have emulated his style, and for how many people he's like the intro into like artsy cinema and everything like that, like I think that he's like a massive presence in the cinematic landscape so far this century, and just a hugely influential filmmaker. So yeah, and I think I'm seeing someone say a rare lock for a short. I don't ever want to call a shorts category a lock, especially when there's a movie as bad as The After in the category, because the Academy love to eat up the worst short films ever made. But yeah, I feel pretty strongly about going for Henry Sugar here. I feel pretty strongly.
For sure.
So, yeah. But I think we've just locked in our final predictions.
There we go. Feels weird. Don't look at our April runs. They are meaningless now.
Yes. Yep.
Actually, if you really want to. I'm sure we'll do a video reacting to them at some point, or a stream reacting to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is our final Oscar prediction. Not different on many, as I say. I think the only one that is genuinely 50-50 will come down to Dwight, Spider-Verse, and Boy in the Hair, and the rest of them, I'm fairly confident in what I'm going for. So,
yeah, for me, I mean, the only ones that we've split on is sound and animated. And sound, I'm admittedly taking a swing against the obvious choice. Animated, I think it's a genuine 50-50. I think actors is really close. I know we both agree that Barbie's taking costumes and production design, but I know some people don't. And same thing with like, we both agree that Lily's taking it, but that's not, it's still pretty split, I'd say.
Emma's still there. Emma's still
very much there. What's worse, The After or book banning? Can I not choose? They're both, I mean, probably book banning is better.
Oh, okay. You phrased that.
I phrased that very weird.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't like, they're both
The
bad.
After is worse. Yeah.
They're both bad. That was fast, under an hour. Yes.
Yes, I mean, this was...
There's not that much to say. Most categories are locked. Like, literally, aside from actress, animated, and like kind of costumes and production design, there isn't that much of a conversation to be had. I guess kind of visual effects, but yeah. May thy predictions chip and shatter. Jack, you don't want to bring up Dune. Thomas and I just talked about it for 30 minutes, and
Yeah, we had a lot of disagreements. Stay tuned for that video.
Yep, video tomorrow. Yeah. I did not like it. Okay. But those are final Oscar predictions. We will see you guys soon. Like you said, Dune video tomorrow. Probably gonna get a review out for like the Teachers Lounge and a couple of the other final Oscar things that we haven't done reviews for, as well as reviewing all of the short films that I will be doing once I've seen them after tomorrow. And then we'll be done with this season, and then we get to do early predictions for next year. Oh my god.
Yes, that will be a very fun stream.
Yes. Also, yeah, they're doing the thing where previous winners are presenting, like in 2009. Like, they're presenting each individual performance, which is kind of fun. This is kind of fun.
Okay.
Thomas on the right side of history. Sure?
Yep. I definitely am on this one. I feel confident about it.
I guess if we're going to look back and be like, who liked Dune Part 2?
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. It's going to be
Sure.
Judgment Day.
Right.
That is